All right. As Malcolm X said, the chickens are coming home to roost. And I think we have to accept that what's happening today, we are seeing a conflict from almost 100 years ago boil up again. The fact is, whenever leftists cuck in favor of Islam, they cuck in favor of ISIS, Muslim terrorists, Muslims in general, and Black Lives Matter. What's the one argument they always base themselves on is World War II. It's saying that anyone who wants to deport Muslims or blacks or anyone at all who wants to do anything to stop these problems is a Nazi. And I think we have to face the facts that maybe the decision in World War II to go up against Germany was a mistake. I don't agree with everything that Nazi Germany stood for, but if defeating them meant becoming cucks and it meant renouncing all forms of nationalism, then maybe we would have been much smarter to let Hitler do his fucking thing in Eastern Europe and not cause a massive world war that would lead to us hating ourselves forever because we had to convince ourselves that nationalism was evil in order to sleep soundly at night about the things that we did to the German people. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but with every passing day, I grow less and less convinced that the Western, Allied powers did the right thing in World War II. I'm not saying that I defend, everything Hitler did. I'm not saying that I agree with every part of National Socialism as an ideology. But, if this maybe we should actually listen to what the leftists say. If they are actually saying that this is what we fought in World War II to defeat, you know, if the mentality of Donald Trump, the mentality of anyone who wants to do anything to stop Islamic terrorism, if that is what we fought to defeat in World War II, then maybe we shouldn't have fought World War II. Now, did Hitler commit some terrible atrocities? Yes. Did he have some morally questionable aspects of his ideology? Yes. Hitler wanted to kill a lot of people in Eastern Europe, but then you know what? So did the Soviets. The Soviets were killing people in Eastern Europe long before Hitler started, and nobody in Britain or any other Western European country felt the desire to take the initiative to stop the Soviets from unleashing their reign of terror across Eastern Europe and leaving their trail of corpses. It was only when the Germans started leaving trails of corpses that it suddenly became a problem. And I think the war was fought for all the wrong reasons. I think it was fought to maintain British hegemony. It was fought because of international banking interests. It wasn't fought, selflessly to save the lives of Polish people or anything like that. And I think we fucked ourselves with this because, especially in the post-war years, we had to convince ourselves that nationalism is the ultimate evil, which is why we defeated Hitler. Because all these people were asking, well, why did we do this to our racial kin in Germany? Why did we commit such awful atrocities against them? And the only way to sleep soundly at night, to justify, our white picket fence existence in the suburbs of Canada and the United States and, in Britain, in order to justify what we did to our own, blood brothers, was to say that, well, they were the worst evil in human history. And in order to believe that they were the worst evil in human history, we had to believe that nationalism is uniquely evil. And that belief undercut our own sense of nationalism. And it ultimately has led to what's destroyed us today. And so what would have been the right thing to do? Well, just like they did to Soviet Russia, not get involved, not fight them directly. What they should have done was simply, maintained a pact, drawn a line in the sand, told Germany if they invade anywhere west of a certain line, anywhere west of Germany, possibly, I guess, maybe west of Alsace, because you could say Germany had a historic claim to that, but any lands in France, Belgium, the Netherlands, um, Scandinavia, anywhere Western Europe that Germany did not have any kind of historic claim to, just say, okay, you cannot go past this land, this line, and if you do, we will be forced to go to war with you. That would have been more sensible, rather than getting wrapped up in a conflict which, quite frankly, did not concern England directly. Um, yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean I'm a quote unquote Nazi sympathizer. It just means that the decision to embark upon a horrific war to defeat Germany and in the aftermath defeating all forms of nationalism as a result, I think was a grossly misplaced decision. And not only that, not only defeating nationalism, but specifically defeating ethno-nationalism and replacing it with civic nationalism. And civic nationalism is a weak force to begin with, which is why civic nationalism has so easily been replaced by simple globalism.